To some breaking news overseas now, where at least 51 people have been killed and nearly 100 others hurt after a fire overnight at a nightclub in North Macedonia. The Interior Minister says a local pop group was using pyrotechnics while performing, and that's when the roof caught fire. Some people have been detained, but officials have not yet said why.
And 50 are
thanks
dead.
for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple
Maybe you
Podcasts.
shouldn't have pyrotechnics inside the venue. Jesus. Another Pulse Club. Jesus. Just need to get back to Lord. Y'all need Jesus in your life.
Okay, so this is fun. I've got a question for my
no, stop.
American friend. Okay, so this is
Rising prices, hidden costs. We'll watch that later. I kinda...
An incident that
We'll watch that later, too. Yeah, I'm trying to get, like, all the news stuff first. Just don't know how to tell the truth.
We have the Republicans on the run on three different issues. We have them on the run with respect to the economy. Donald Trump and House Republicans promised that they were going to lower the high cost of living. But instead, costs haven't gone down. They've gone up. Inflation is going up. Why? Because Donald Trump and Republicans haven't been focused on doing anything to lower the high cost of living. Not a single bill, not a single executive action, not a single administrative order.
Really? You're lying to me.
We, as House Democrats, have to make sure we forcefully make the case to everyday Americans that we are trying to build an affordable economy.
Oh, are you sure? I don't know, because during Biden, it didn't look like it.
And we know that people are struggling to live paycheck to paycheck, and that should never happen in the wealthiest country in the history of the world. We got to hold the line as it relates to the economic narrative, and we see that Trump's poll numbers are collapsing in that regard.
What?
Why are you trying to be Obama when you're not?
What an idiot! Oh, what a loser!
Okay, Hakeem. It's okay. Go back to the drawing boards. Come back when you have something better.
With these migrant counters now...
We'll watch this later, too. Here we go. Gavin Newsom refuses to release texts, emails about LA fires. Oh, I wonder why. I bet you would find out that he did not want to say anything good. I mean, if it was anything like Karen Bass's fucking leaked messages, probably wasn't gonna be good. Firebugs destroy 4 Tesla EVs in Berlin. Ouch. Actor John Cusack compares Trump buying a Tesla to Hitler. Calls Musk only immigrant. I wanted deported. Okay. Soros-backed Wisconsin Supreme Court candidate Susan Crawford defends light sentencing for pedophile during debate. What the fuck? What? Soccer San Diego FC makes large security investment aimed at curbing anti-gay chants. Wait. Oh shit. Yeah, what the fuck is this one though? Lighten the sentence for this? What? You fucking weirdo. Cross-dressing Dem Congressman McBride attacks GOP as weird and bizarre. I mean, it is. It is weird and bizarre. Because he didn't do that in the first place. And then all of a sudden he starts with fucking cross-dressing. Like, what? What is happening? Republican Keith Self receives death threats. Cancels event after calling trans rep Sarah McBride Mr. Oh yeah, this guy. This shit was fucking hilarious. Yeah. Enraged transgender passerby pulled gun on him. Oh yeah, I saw this shit. That shit was insane.
But you need to try less being like somebody you're not and start to humble yourself and be somebody that God made you to be. He didn't make a man to be a woman. He made the man to be a man. He didn't make the woman to be a man. He made the woman to be a woman. And this is the truth. What are you going to do? Come attack me now?
Oh. Oh, whoa.
Hey, man. It's up to you. If you want to pull that on me, well, God bless you. So you just threatened me with a gun. You just pulled a gun on my face. Man, Lord have mercy on you. This means that you don't even know who you are. Nope, I still love you. Even though you pulled a gun on me, I still love you. I still bless you. He made the woman being like some man.
This was insane,
hey,
dude.
And this is the truth. What are you going to do? Come attack me now?
Pulls up a full-on gun. What the fuck?
Hey, man.
Not only did she brandish the gun at him and point it in a threatening manner, but that bitch had her finger on the trigger, I think. Yeah, like, what the fuck? You can see her finger in the goddamn... Jesus Christ. Jiminy Cricket.
God bless you. So you just threatened me with a gun.
They're
you
a
just pulled
fucking
a gun
madman.
on my face. Man, Lord have mercy on you.
I'm surprised there was
This
no
means that you
fucking
don't
cop
even know who
around
you
here.
are.
Holy shit.
Nope, I still love you. Even though you pulled a gun on me, I still love you. I still bless you.
Yeah, you gotta rein in your retards. You can't have your retards do this. This doesn't look good for your cause, Democrats. LGBTQ plus community. I'm so sorry. God damn it. Not your fault. It's not your fault. I'm just making fun of this person. Dude, this person is so fucking stupid. Like, that's so fucking dangerous. Jesus. See, this is why you need a CCW. Or if you have open carry.
Hey, man. It's up to you. If you want to pull that on me, well, God bless you. So you just
fuck off!
with a gun. You just pulled a gun on my face.
The fucking bitch is so
Man, Lord have
angry
mercy
and
on you.
depressed.
This means that you don't
Literally almost just killed someone over nothing. Literally over nothing. Over some mere words. Decided to pull a fucking gun. Like, what? What are you, a fucking child? Like, what the fuck? See, the fact that that person pulled the gun, I would have fucking popped that bitch. The fact that she was already willing to fucking point that gun at you means she was willing to pull the trigger. Fuck that shit. Nope.
even know who you are. Nope, I still love you.
Nope,
Even
I
though
would
you
have
pulled
called
a
the
gun on
cops.
me, I
I
still
would
love
have
you.
been
I
like,
still bless
fuck
you.
you.
Personally, I have no room in my heart for hatred, and frankly, I have no time for intolerance.
Happy
Oh, really? You have no. Oh yeah, this was one of our U.S. generals, by the way. This fucking retard who decided to go trans for some reason. I don't know. No idea why. Because all of a sudden, oh yeah, I'm just going trans. Huh? Oh, okay. So fucking rigged. Some of these were just so fucking random. Oh man.
No room in my heart for hatred, and frankly, I have no time for intolerance.
Happy Pride.
It's a man, baby.
Yeah.
And a mass anti-government student protest took over the streets of Belgrade, Serbia this weekend.
Yeah, I heard about this
too.
too.
The ongoing protests started after the canopy of a railway station collapsed back in November, killing 15 people. The tragedy
I
became a
looked this
flashpoint
up,
for latent
or we saw
discontent
this
that had
like
been brewing
last week.
over President Alexander Vucic's 12 years in power.
Can't remember, but yeah, I looked up the story of the. What the fuck? Of the, what, it was like 15 people or something that got crushed under the, it was like a subway canopy thing. For whatever reason, the, I guess, earthquake or something happened and it just collapsed and just killed 15 people. Oh, Asmongold did a whole thing on it. Arrow shots of anti-gov protests in Belgrade show thousands congregating against President Vucic. Oh, is this still going on right now? Oh. Looks like it. New videos every hour. Oh, this was 16 hours ago.
Dozens in downtown Miami protested the arrest of Mahmoud Khalil. He's the Columbia University graduate student detained by immigration authorities for his involvement with pro-Palestinian demonstrations on campus.
Sucks.
This is a threat to the civil liberties of all Americans, and we really all need to be standing against it.
Now you're going to court, buddy.
Need to come out and stand up for our rights. If nobody says anything, if nobody raises their voice, if nobody protests,
I bet you shut the fuck up.
we're never going to see that type of change, and we need to be putting that pressure on everybody that's in power right now to get him released ASAP.
The protest comes one day after the Department of Homeland Security arrested a second person tied to pro-Palestinian protests.
Y'all can get
Columbia
deported
University.
with. Free us from there. Just tie them up and put them on a ship, you know. It's okay, they'll like to go over there and help out, you know. They're willing. I mean, they want to protest so much on this side. Why not just ship them over there? Let them help out for real. This moment deserves special attention. Chuck Schumer is damned with faint praise from Scott Jennings. Ew. Not Scott Jennings. Gross.
First of all, I just want to say I'm grateful for Chuck Schumer today. He helped defeat a racist Jim Crow filibuster in the Senate. And to stand up against the racist Jim Crow filibuster tactics was a moment of pure courage. And I just think it should be lauded by anybody in any party for that. That's number one. Number two.
No!
Let me just explain to people at home.
I'm just saying.
When there was a Democratic push against the filibuster, people in the Democratic Party were saying it was a racist era, Jim Crow era
and it was
tactic, the
terrible
filibuster. So he's being cheeky.
And not only... And
All right, back to
not only that, but he saved us from the Democrats in the House, laying off every single veteran. In the
Everyone's around him like, you fucking motherfucker.
Working with Donald Trump saved us from that. So I think he deserves. I think he deserves a lot of credit this morning.
Scott,
every veteran would have been laid off. Every veteran would have been laid off.
Scott's having a lot of fun.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm. Wait. Everybody calm down.
That was pretty good. Fucking set them up. Fucking set them up. Oh yeah, we'll watch this one. Because apparently Boris Johnson did some
As
talking.
for the men's side, just a couple of minutes before the finish line will be crossed by Matt Rick.
This happened today.
His second ever marathon. He built the lead. Remember we talked about it. He built a 57-second lead, and here he is getting ready to finish out. They win.
And just a grinder, right? He didn't do this easily. He made a move pretty early on in marathon standards at mile 16, and has really stole the show here on the men's side, and really hasn't given second place a chance to catch up.
And passed the women in the chase at 18 miles, the earliest pass in the chase in history, because the women got into a very tactical affair, whereas the men took advantage of the very excellent day for.
Feeling mile mark.
At the pace he's heading, he will have the second distance running, and we're having one of the. If he finishes currently at the pace he's heading, he will have the.
2 to go. He has reels to hurt and.
In Illinois, really hard to do outdoor training and from
Sir,
Matt Rickman,
There you have it.
207.56. I'm going to say, Tony, your winner.
Usually
of the
rounded
Los
up.
Angeles
Matt
Marathon.
Rickman.
Unbelievable second marathon.
Men's field.
This guy just put at Olympic Games in Los Angeles. We're not talking about Boston. We're not talking about the bullet course that is Chicago or Berlin or London or Dubai.
Women are still
Those are
going.
the bullet courses. 207 by an American in Los Angeles has real meaning. A 207, unbelievable.
207.56. I'm going to say, Tony. Your winner.
207.56.
Los Angeles Marathon.
Well, what was this men's field? How long was this? Since 1994, the first American to win the Los Angeles Marathon. Wow, it's been a while. Wow, it's been like 30 years. How long was this Los Angeles Marathon? The course was changed in the middle of 2020 to end at Avenue of the Stars in Century City. Both started at downtown Los Angeles from 2007 to 2008. Started from South Universal City, ended in downtown Los Angeles. The iconic stadium to see route started in Dodger Stadium. $26.2 miles. Yeah, marathon. 26.2 miles in 2 hours, and what was it? 2 hours and 7 minutes and what, 57 seconds or something like that. Wow. And that was him just straight probably jogging and keeping his pace. Right? Hakeem Jeffrey goes crazy over made-up inflation.
We have the Republicans on the run on 3 different issues. 3 different issues. We have them on the run with respect to the economy. Donald Trump and House Republicans promised that they were going to lower the high cost of living. But instead, costs haven't gone down.
My Asian bromie? What do you want?
Inflation is going up. Why? Because Donald Trump and Republicans haven't been focused on doing anything to lower the high cost of living. Not a single bill, not a single executive action, not a single administrative.
We already saw this kind of one, but
have to make sure we forcefully make the case to everyday Americans
that
we are trying to build an affordable economy. We know that costs are too high. And we know that people are struggling to live paycheck to paycheck, and that should never happen in the wealthiest country in the history of the world. We got to hold the line as it relates to the economic narrative, and we see that poll numbers are collapsing.
What a liar. And a bullshitter. I am bullshitting. Oh, no. Yeah, you shut up. What do you want? You're only here to cause problems. Sorry. I'm tired, can't speak. What do you want?
Prince Harry.
Watch that later.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Memes of the Week. The best thing you can do for this channel is smash that like button like it's your Alabama cousin, so it reaches a wider
To deport
audience.
them to
And now on
Mexicans,
the
bro.
memes.
What?
Number one, a jury finds Tiffany Brown, a government contractor, guilty of defrauding FEMA of $156 million.
So you want them to go to the
30 million
cartels,
meals
eh?
to Puerto Rico after Hurricane
And you
Rita.
want them to
And all
suck
she
the
probably
dick
got
of the
was 6
cartels.
months in jail.
Is that it?
It took almost 8 years to bring her to justice. How incompetent do you have to be to not notice that 30 million meals went missing? She never got the full amount of money but kept filing fraudulent emails asking for more cash. Up next, this is how many of us on the spectrum feel. That AI won't be replacing us because our autism is way too complex to duplicate. Here's what it's like being on the spectrum. Sure, you get the added benefit of higher intelligence and you overthink things, which makes you a perfectionist. But you also suffer with anxiety, have a hard time making eye contact, and get really grumpy and angry when somebody interrupts your daily routine. And yes, the anxiety is unbearable. Let's see AI replace all of that. Number 3, the Colombian president says he's not gay after he's seen in Panama with a trans woman. But in all fairness, she looks more feminine than his wife. He says he's not gay, but his girlfriend just has a penis. At least they then seem to look a lot better than this
Gustav Petro,
one. I think
he's a
it's
liar.
increasingly a
He's
prerequisite for many
definitely
politicians
swinging
these
that
days to do
way.
this. After all, in America, Obama says, "Hold my beer,"
Trudeau,
as he
he's
holds Michael's
definitely
banana
swinging that way
instead,
too.
Allegedly. Moving on, looks like Matt
Obama
Foley
swinging
lives in a
that way
Van
too.
Gogh down by the river. This is an actual painting, and you can get the print online if you search for it. I'm sure that many of us would also love to buy this Van Down by the River playset.
Oh, no.
Funny enough how back then you were considered a loser if you did this, and today if you live in a van, you're
Fucking
considered
beer
smart for saving
bottles.
money as well as being a trendsetter. If you look online, you can also get a copy of the
The
Salvador
Dalai
Dalai
Lama.
Lama. Number 5, what ages a person really quickly? I'd say the stress of having an angry, nagging wife. Or the stress of trying to prevent your teenage daughters from riding the Rooster roller coaster. Also, people who are always angry always seem to age so much faster than everybody else. Smoking and booze will do it as well. The better question to ask is, what ages you slower? A clean, mostly plant-based keto diet, proper sleep, stress management, and paying for working girls instead of getting married. Up next, with Trump using ICE to send all the illegal migrants out this year, you just know that the Halloween costumes are going to be lit.
Jesus.
But I think that they'll either be really funny or
my
people will be
God.
butthurt
Trump
seeing them
put a
around.
little-
That there won't be any middle ground. Also, I don't think this is all that funny because we, the taxpayers,
It's
are
like-
paying for her education and not her parents. Trump should
South
make an executive order
American-looking
forcing Spirit
person.
Halloween to stay open all year long. Number 7, God forbid that men have hobbies. An 84-year-old German man had a fully restored Panzer tank in his basement. Here's the military taking it out after he passed away, supposedly. What's really annoying about this, though, is that it looks like a Panther tank and not like a Panzer tank. Meanwhile, here we have American tanks preparing for WW3.
Oh, shit.
It's either that or a scene from WALL-E,
You need
the
to strap
live-action
them
film.
with the fucking
I hope that tank ends
automated
up in a museum.
turret now.
Moving on, this person's job accidentally put 4,000 hours on somebody's time clock, and his check was for $23K. He quit the next day, and now they can't find him. 5.75 an hour is too low for all those states. So this has to be an old meme, but it still definitely does check out. No pun intended. That minimum wage worker probably went back to Mexico with all the money. That's why they can't find him.
Jesus.
But seriously, imagine being so poor that 20K is quitting money. He was smart to leave because they would have asked for the money back.
Yeah, as
Number
soon
9,
as
this
he
guy
got the
tries
money,
telling
he was all
women that
like,
we
"Yep,
men
I'm
don't have
keeping
trust
it."
issues. We've just seen patterns in female behavior and refuse to go through the same issues again. That's why women are
just
going
like,
after
"I'm
younger
out,
and younger
peace.
men these days. Because
Bring
those
money."
guys aren't aware of the red flags yet. That could explain why teachers are becoming PDF files and boinking
Uh-oh.
boys in their early teens. Guys
Uh-oh.
are getting red-pilled younger and younger. So
With
women
all
have to
those
look for
cases
males
that
who are
have been
younger
happening
and less
recently in
experienced.
schools.
Up next, speaking of
in some
younger
of
and
those
experienced guys
schools.
that don't understand female nature, this woman is happy. Because an 18-year-old boy just asked her for her number. Look at that smug look on her face. She's probably thinking that she can trap that inexperienced guy with her puniti.
Jesus.
Meanwhile, he's already red-pilled and is just looking for a smash and dash from a
Don't do
MILF
that.
for target
Don't do
practice.
that to
Then
yourself.
again, maybe he figured out that she has a 17 to 19-year-old daughter. He could spend quality cooch time with both of them. Number 11, here's a delusional take. Studies have shown that attractive women tend to lean left, while right-wing women tend to be bitter and unattractive. Looks like unattractive left-wing women are accusing attractive
I
right-wing
don't know
women
about that.
of being
Apparently,
the very same thing they
Amaranth
are,
is
which
a,
is
a
unattractive.
right-wing
Look at this.
person,
I
and
found some of
she's
those super
okay,
attractive
kinda.
left-wing women.
Oh.
Aren't they just as hot as a bunch of cue balls on a pool table? They're projecting an obvious lie. Moving on, when an
Actually,
average
she's
guy on a
only
dating
okay
app
when
sees
she
a
puts
normal
on
girl
all of her
responding to
makeup.
him, he immediately
Other than
figures
that,
it's a
she's-
scam and stops talking to her. But when an average woman gets a message from someone claiming to be Brad Pitt, then she'll take a chance to connect. In the end, they just send all their money to an Indian
Average
bank account
boy
to pay for Brad
self-esteem.
Pitt's healthcare needs.
Wait,
Women
hold on.
fall.
Hi, I'm a normal girl. I saw your profile and I think you're cute. Jeez, what the fuck? This is obviously a scam. Average girl's self-esteem. Hi, I'm world famous superstar actor Brad Pitt. I'm totally falling for you. Oh yeah, this one. Yeah, I think there was another case someone fell for. I forgot who. After the Brad Pitt thing, I think someone fell for the same thing. It was another older person. Of course you have, baby. I know I deserve better than my millionaire husband.
Fall for it because they believe they deserve the best men. Romance scams are to women what paying for lonely fools is for men. Number 13, and speaking of Brad Pitt, where's Tyler Durden when you really need him?
Anyone on the
Saying that if
popular
Trump
vote?
is a
Doesn't that
Nazi,
mean
then
most
doesn't that
people
mean
think
that most
Nazis are
people
better
think
than
that Nazis are better than
Democrats?
Democrats? We need to bring back this Brad Pitt before he met Angelina Jolie and lost his mind marrying her before finally getting divorced and losing tens of millions of dollars in the settlement with her. Also, why did USAID pay her $20 million to visit Ukraine? Seems kind of sketchy to me. Up next, do you agree that every migrant flight out of the United States needs to
that
look
was
like
weird.
this one? There's still plenty of room in here, though. Maybe make it
Oh shit, was this the one where they got crushed? Yeah, there was like 12 or 13 people that got crushed to death here.
double or triple decker transport plane and send thousands out on each flight. I think we finally found a productive use for the Airbus A380. Just strip out the seats and go from coach to boxcar class instead. And if that does happen, then you know that this is the look on Democrats' faces as all their voters leave the country. Number 15, this mother cries uncontrollably as she's cleared of having sex with a boy aged 14 after claiming she thought that he was over 16. So she deflected blame and refused to take accountability, and she won. So wait, are you telling me that the "I think they were of age" excuse works now? That's crazy. But actually, if this is a male teacher with a 14-year-old girl, then ignorance of the law would not be a valid excuse for his actions. If ladies like this didn't have double standards, they wouldn't even have any standards. Moving on, this is the best example as to why working won't give you financial independence. The incomes for CEOs and senior management has gone up 1,000% since the late 70s. While worker salaries have not kept pace with the rise in productivity. Rich people are the ones promoting the idea that Gen Z is lazy and doesn't work, and that's why wealth inequality keeps growing. But the reason bosses and CEOs get paid more is because there are too few competent ones out there, and most companies compete for the top talent. So that's why they're paid so high. Number 17, here's another crazy study blaming sexism for causing dementia in women. Just because more women than men have dementia doesn't mean it's sexism. It just means that women live longer than men, long enough for their brains to go haywire. Plus, men are more likely to stay mentally active around the house, taking out the trash and fixing things into their old age, which keeps our minds from breaking
Sexism for
down.
causing
You
dementia
either
in
use it or you
women?
lose.
What?
But next thing you know, you'll probably blame men for doing the
Excuse me?
thinking for you now. How about if you just
Women, is
identify as
that
male
true?
and everything will be fine? Up next in Brazil, a 23-year-old Lonely Fools model fell to her end from a balcony
I don't think that's
while
true.
performing a three-person spicy scene. It
23
certainly wasn't
OnlyFans
right
model
to
falls to
remember.
death from
I
balcony
guess
while
this proves
performing.
women's point
Oh,
that
this.
sex work isn't.
Oh yeah, this chick. I think Nate the lawyer has did a news story on this one too.
In fact, dangerous. I really
A
hope they
while
don't release
back.
the video because that would be in bad taste. Maybe she was railed too hard against the rail.
Yeah, this
Looks to
was
me it
back
was
in
actually a
January.
foursome as the ground smashed her too. Number 19, would you add this fit, tatted up girl as a friend? There can't possibly be a catch, and it
Oh,
looks
no.
like the coast is clear.
Is that her
but pay
kid?
no attention to the
Oh,
tiny
shit.
Tyrone in the picture. But
He
between
looks
the
good.
tattoos
Too bad
and
she has a
movement here,
kid.
she's for the streets.
Oh.
The only thing true about this
Oh,
is that she
shit.
has tattoos. She definitely doesn't look very fit to me.
Well, I mean,
Little
the
Tyrone here looks like he's
I mean, look, tattoos aren't a deal breaker, but they do tell a story.
her whole
Right.
world. And she looks like
And
she's
then
in
that
for a
kid tells
lifetime
a
full of bad
story
choices
too,
and
so that's like a
regrets.
double.
Moving on, Shoppers Drug Mart, which is the Canadian version of CVS Pharmacy,
Hmm.
faces a backlash of a new beauty campaign with a bearded
the
trans
fuck?
woman. Talk about
Drug
not
Mart
learning the
faces
lesson from
backlash
Bud
over
Light.
new beauty
Unfortunately,
campaign.
shoppers
No
will probably
way.
be fine because they
That's
have a
their new
virtual
beauty
monopoly for
campaign right
24-hour
there.
stores in
Yeah.
Canada. I knew
Ugh.
someone that used to work there 3 decades
Gotta
ago.
put on
and he
a
used to
dress
say,
and
"Call it
everything.
Shoppers
Gotta
Drug
do some
Mart.
cross-dressing,
Get on
huh?
your knees and take it." Now that seems
Jesus.
more relevant than ever. Number 21, the president of Haiti says that Trump's plan to send migrants back to Haiti will be catastrophic for his country. But why?
What do you mean?
After all, America is just sending them back their engineers and doctors. Could it actually be that Haiti doesn't want its losers and criminals coming back?
Yeah, just
Haven't
sending
the
back
Haitians
their
in America been
engineers and
catastrophic
doctors.
for the United States? Apparently not, because America can absorb more moochers than third world hellholes. Also, don't American pets deserve
Don't
to
snack
live
on me?
and
Oh,
not get
no.
eaten too?
Oh no. I'm sorry, kitty. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the pigeons.
And not get eaten too. Up next, more than 15,000 doctors sign a letter urging the Senate to reject RFK Jr. as health secretary. Looks like there's no money in prevention. Maybe someone should list these 15,000
Sign
doctors
letter urging
somewhere
Senate to
so we all
reject
know which ones
RFK
to
Jr.
avoid.
as health
Their
secretary.
motto might as well be, if a doctor cures you, he's a thief of his own wallet. Also remember that Fauci and his cronies
I mean,
were all
it beats
doctors,
that
and
one.
look how well
Who was that? The one obese chick who was the new like what was her? The health department or some shit. No. This lady was, yeah, this was a terrible pick as well. Health and Human Services, that's what it was. Oh, okay. JFK is the junior. Who? She went on a podcast. I don't. I forgot what her name was. We saw a picture of her yesterday.
All that turned out. A patient cured with exercise and diet is a lost customer. Number 23, the Colombian president's daughter, the same guy that was caught with a trans woman, says that with Trump's deportations, for every Colombian they send, they will return a gringo. If they try that, then they'll run out of gringos pretty quickly. And most of them actually invest and spend money into Colombia and its economy. Sounds to me like she's making it sound like this is all about racism with a racial slur. I'm also pretty sure that the gringos aren't there illegally. Moving on, is it true that Gen X is always mad because we had to replace our record collections with tape collections and then replace them with CDs and MP3s to eventually need a subscription to get our music? But just make playlists of your favorite music on YouTube and use the Brave browser to get around the ads. I still have my original CD collection though, but I still convert music to MP3s and then put them on USB keys and use them in my automobile. I'm more pissed off about going from VHS to widescreen VHS to DVD and then eventually Blu-ray. That's where the real money was spent. And now I just download movies and shows from torrents and store them on hard drives. I also have my VHS and DVD collection still, but no devices to play them on, unfortunately. Number 25 and the last one is a bit of a head-scratcher, suggesting that a man going his own way will leave that philosophy for a love doll. Technically, using the doll as a relationship replacement is going your own way in the first place. So many people don't understand
people are already talking to AI
chatbots. You don't live with a
yeah.
woman and you don't marry her. Everything else is up to you. Remember that loverbots and artificial wombs will give men freedom and happiness from women without state involvement. I can't wait. So that's it for another Memes of the Week. Please give this video a like to push it up in the algorithm and so new viewers can find it. If you enjoy this series and want me to keep making it, then donate it to PayPal and subscribe star links below. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your day. And cheers.
Cheers. Aftermath of Shadman, the weirdo.
Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome.
There are times when it's very psychologically and morally impactful, and the only thing I think that keeps me sane is my soldiers around me.
Wait, wasn't this the same person? Was like,
Drones at the lifeline right now.
Fucking drop the bomb on that fucking hole.
Okay, so when I can't physically take a machine and evac the injured soldiers, I have to send medication in, to send bandages in. Drones are the only way that my soldiers get.
Was that a medical drone?
Rebecca is leading a team of Ukrainians very close to the front line. They're running a medical point. They run medical evacuations under extreme danger. Many of their comrades are actually stuck, unable to be evacuated in the town of Terets, which has got a small group of Ukrainians still in it, and the Russians are fighting hard to take it over. But there's no doubt about what she feels about Donald Trump.
How do you respond when you see Donald Trump and J.D. Vance climb in on Zelensky in the Oval Office and then cut aid?
I don't even have words. It was awful. Yeah. Felt like a knife in the back.
You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III.
I'm watching on the feed as like hit after hit goes to my position, and we're waiting to find out.
Dealing with World War III.
And Donald Trump's voice is in the background saying like, "Well, they could have had a deal, and it would have been a very good deal." Your friends and soldiers that you've taken care of potentially die in front of you, while you're listening to a leader of a democratic country say it doesn't matter.
Would you welcome a ceasefire?
I don't think a ceasefire will be honored. I don't think a ceasefire will be honored. I would absolutely love the chance to get my wounded guys out and for them to have some rest and respite. But based on history and based on Russia's proven behavior over and over again, I can't even fathom a world in which a ceasefire was actually honored. And I actually told the guys, I said, I will stay right here and I will be the first to report if they violate it. And I will report it live. And I will say, as an American on the ground in Ukraine, I can tell you, because God knows that it has to be verified and credentialed if a Ukrainian says it. I can tell you right now, I am experiencing an attack that is from Russia during a mandated, signed ceasefire.
As they have done in the past. Here.
Yes.
Not very far.
Well, you heard it from her. She doesn't think it's gonna be honored. So. Maybe I have a photo of her. Oh. Two polls after 2024 loss.
When it comes to the feelings that Americans, voters at large, and Democrats have, I can't help but think of Chubby Checker. Why is that? Because the question is, how low can you go? The lowest ever approval ratings on record per Quinnipiac University. Look at this. Approve 21% among all voters. Look at the disapprove level. Holy Toledo, 68% of all voters disapprove of how Democrats are doing in Congress. These are truly horrific numbers. They are in the trash bin of history. That is how low these approval ratings are.
Meanwhile,
Oh my God. Oh, I love having you go.
Yeah.
on a personal level, I've made sure that every single day in this office, I put Canadians first, that I have people's backs. And that's why I'm here to tell you all that we got you. Even in the very last days of this government.
Oh no. Biden, no. Oh yeah, here she is. This lady. Wherever this fucking lady is.
Some of the appalling waste.
She was supposed to be like the Canadian, some kind of health official or something?
From HHS to provide free housing and cars for illegal aliens. $45 million for diversity, equity, and inclusion scholarships in Burma. $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. Nobody knows what that is. $8 million to promote LGBTQI+ in the African nation of Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of.
Nobody's gonna believe me because I can.
Oh no, bonk.
Purposeful, but I don't believe me because I can.
Oh, bonk.
It does look purposeful, but I.
Which nobody is ever
gonna believe me because I can admit.
There's a sound effect. He put a sound effect on.
I can admit.
God damn.
I can admit. Because I can admit.
Whack.
It does look purposeful, but I know my intentions, and I would never hit somebody on purpose.
If we don't pass my comprehensive immigration reform, at least pass my plan to provide the equipment and officers to secure the border.
Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation. We must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president.
Those that have voted for this administration. Did you vote for the Department of Education to be taken out?
Yep.
Dismantled. Did you vote for that?
Yep.
Boys are boys from the beginning. If you were born a boy, you stay a boy.
Oh, Mr. Rogers, don't tell him that.
Girls are girls
shit.
right from the start. If you were born a girl, you stay a girl and grow up to be a lady.
Mr. Rogers, oh, Jesus,
And I'm here in
why?
Ireland. Moved here on January 15. In the process of getting my Irish citizenship, as I have Irish grandparents.
And nothing of value was lost.
Yep, nothing of value. Uh-oh. No way. She did a podcast now? Oh, Jesus. Only 3.8K.
What was your reaction to Trump's speech? 44%
Oh,
of
shit.
speech watchers
I didn't
in
even
Ireland
know
support
she was
the
doing a podcast now. Ooh. Oh, God. Oh, no.
I am Michelle. I am Michelle.
Oh, oh God. You got it was what happened? It was like here and then it started going downhill. I guess people were just trying to test the waters and then this is just like, oh no. Oh no, it's sad now. And then it's just like, oh shit. Oh fuck.
say they had a very positive reaction to Trump's speech. 25% somewhat positive.
69.
What, fucking Billy Madison? Alright, what's next? They're completely lost.
Our new NBC News poll, as you
Oh, no.
just saw, shows
The
the
fake
Democratic
news.
Party at
Oh,
an
shit.
all-time low approval rating. Why do you think Democrats are failing to connect with Americans at this critical
I
moment
mean,
of
just
urgency
look
that
at
you
who.
described?
Just look at who the fuck is in their party right now. They all suck. They all fucking suck. They're all a bunch of lying thieves, and they all fucking suck. I think the answer is obvious, and the question should be asked of people, but not him.
Well, it's what I just talked about. I mean, I think Americans want the Democratic Party to stand up and fight and to take
No, they
risks.
all suck. They need better people. They need better people and better messaging. Because they all fucking
Listen, I
suck.
understand that had we gone into a shutdown, even for a handful of days, it would have been difficult. But it would have sent a message that the Democratic Party is not going to be bullied.
Even the
by
nine,
Donald.
even the 9 people who fucking voted for not the government shutdown, right? Right, who sided with the Republicans, even they didn't want to fucking sign it. But they're all like, fuck. We have to let this keep going.
Donald Trump.
We can't have a government shutdown. It'd be bad. Right?
Really? We are not going to let them write spending bills unilaterally that cut programs for people we care about, that give the president new and extraordinary power. I think Democrats in this country, but I think the broad middle of the public as well, want to see our party fighting in exceptional ways. No. That is the conversation that has to happen inside of the Democratic Party, inside our caucus. And if we don't get that right, if we continue to work with Republicans, if we continue to hand Donald Trump more power, we are going to lose our democracy.
Bye. What is this? Elon Musk is supposed to why Democrats don't want waste and fraud to be turned off. What was this? Oh, this was 6 days ago? Oh, was this his interview? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, if you want to see more Rotten Mango shit. Yeah, this was, I was gonna watch some Rotten Mango shit, but I forgot all of her videos are fucking super long. But if you want to look at fucking true crime shit. And just at the dark and depravity of just humans in general, right? There's some crazy motherfuckers. Here you go. Rotten Mango. Drone footage shows mass anti-government protests in Belgrade. No sound? God damn, that's a lot of people. It's just on that one street. They just flood that whole street. Oh god, that's why. Yikes. Flares and stone torture. The air horns. Honk honk. Whop. Whop. Whop whop. Alright.
Fire at a nightclub in North Macedonia has killed at least 51 people.
So here's another Macedonia one. So now it's 59. Last time we saw it was 50, so it's 59 now.
A local pop group overnight. Video on social media shows the chaos inside with people trying to flee. ABC
Oh my god, are you fucking stupid? Who does this? Why do people do this inside? Why are people retarded? Never shoot fireworks inside a building. Like, that's the stupidest fucking thing you could do. Especially when you know you're not prepped for that. Jesus.
Has the latest. Now, Patrick, authorities have issued arrest warrants for 4 people. What more do we know about the allegations against those 4 individuals?
Hayek, actually, just in the last hour or so, we've now had another update from the Interior Ministry of North Macedonia. They say now that at least 20 people are under suspicion of wrongdoing. They say at least 15 people are being questioned at a police station in relation to this devastating fire that has killed dozens of people. The current death toll stands at 59, with at least another 155 injured. 27 of those injured are in critical condition, and the vast majority of these people are very young. They're between 18 and 24. There are also at least 3 minors who have died. This is just a catastrophic fire that clearly, from the video that we've seen, appears to have been caused when pyrotechnics basically led to the ceiling of the club catching fire. But we're hearing also from the Interior Ministry here that basically the club had been operating for a year without a license. and had been operating with a fake license. So I think already there are suspicions that corruption could have played a part in this disaster, Ike.
Now, you just mentioned how the operators of the club may have been operating their club in nefarious ways with those fake licenses, but many of the people attending the concert, they were also underage and only half had identifications. So how are families and authorities working to ID the victims?
Yeah, I mean, it's just clearly an appalling situation. You know, we've seen relatives of the families gathering outside a hospital all day. We understand from one of our reporters in the region who's been making calls that people are having to come and identify bodies as best they can, or many have had to be sent for autopsies because the club was completely engulfed by flames. There's been, clearly just an absolutely devastating loss for this community. It's a very small town, Kochani, in North Macedonia, and this will have just inflicted an enormous amount of suffering in this small community.
Patrick Reevell, thanks for the update.
There we go. I think we already saw this, though. This was 6 days ago. Yeah, I think we already saw this. Pretty sure. Alright, let's get to the longer stuff now.
Welcome to another episode of China Update, where I provide you with the most up-to-date political, economic, and geostrategic analysis on the world's #2 economy. My name is Tony. Normally we take Sundays off, but there has been so much to cover from this week that we had to do this extra episode so that we can move into a new week of updates from tomorrow. Let's jump in. First up, in the United States on Friday, a group of House Republicans introduced legislation seeking to prevent PRC nationals from studying in the United States, citing national security concerns. The bill, spearheaded by Representative Riley Moore and co-sponsored by 5 other Republicans, aims to bar PRC students from obtaining visas for study or exchange programs in the United States. Moore justified the measure by accusing the Chinese Communist Party of using student visas as a means of conducting espionage and intellectual property theft. Quote, "It's time that we turn off the tap and immediately ban all student visas going to Chinese nationals," end quote, he said. However, the bill faces an uphill battle in Congress and has already drawn criticism from educators, scholars, and advisory groups. Banta Au, Executive Director and CEO of NAFSA, an association of international educators, denounced the proposal, arguing that policies should not target individuals based on nationality, expressing, quote, "Making international students the most vetted and tracked non-immigrants in the United States a scapegoat for xenophobic and anti-Chinese sentiment is misguided and antithetical to our national interest," end quote. The PRC embassy in Washington condemned the bill, emphasizing that education exchanges have historically been a cornerstone of China-US relations. Additionally, the Asian American Scholars Forum warned that such a policy would weaken US's global leadership in science and innovation. Despite the low likelihood of passage, some experts view the proposal as part of a broader effort to restrict research collaborations between US and Chinese institutions. The number of Chinese students in the United States has already been declining, with India surpassing China as the top source of international students in 2023. And of course, the number of US students studying in China is tiny, numbering only in the hundreds versus the more than 277,000 Chinese students who were studying at US universities in the 2023-2024 school year. As tensions between the United States and China persist, the future of academic exchanges remains uncertain. Next up, we move to the Chinese economy. Friday also saw the publication of Total Social Financing, this is total debt, in the Chinese system. China issued 6.14 trillion yuan, $855 billion in new yuan-denominated loans in the first 2 months of 2025, reflecting a, quote, stable and supportive monetary policy, end quote, according to the People's Bank of China, China's central bank. By the end of February, outstanding yuan loans stood at 261.78 trillion yuan, marking a 7.3% year-on-year increase. China's money supply, M2, expanded by 7%, reaching 320 trillion yuan, while yuan-denominated deposits surged by 8.74 trillion yuan, driven mostly by household savings. Peking University professor of finance Michael Pettis, in a statement published yesterday, unpacked the implications of all this, expressing, quote, debt is still rising quickly in China. In February, total social financing grew a less than expected but still large 2.23 trillion RMB. The outstanding amount at the end of the month was 417.29 trillion yuan, $57 trillion, or 309% of last year's GDP versus 303% at the end of 2024. While it is worth noting that in China, debt always grows most quickly at the beginning of the year, with nearly 1/4 of annual growth in outstanding debt occurring in the first 2 months, this is still a big increase. The outstanding amount of total social financing at the end of February was 8.4% higher than a year ago, for example, versus 4.2% nominal GDP growth. In an economy in which most debt goes to fund investment, debt wouldn't rise faster than GDP if the investment were productive. That is why the increase in the country's debt burden can be seen as a proxy for the quality of growth, i.e., how much of the growth comes from misallocated investment versus how much from productive sources of growth. For example, few, if any, economists expect net exports to contribute nearly as much to growth as it did in 2024, an astonishing 30% of total GDP growth. This means that unless we see much stronger consumption, which accounted for a very disappointing 44.5% of GDP growth in 2024, China will achieve its 2025 GDP growth target of 5% only, with a faster increase in investment than last year. Given that investment almost certainly has a multiplier well below 1, this will require a substantial worsening of China's debt burden in 2025. As long as China maintains these excessively high GDP growth targets, in other words, the only way to slow the growth in the debt burden is if consumption, which is likely to have a very high multiplier, can contribute much more to GDP growth than it has in the past. For it to be meaningful, however, consumption should comprise at least 70% of growth every year, and preferably closer to 90%. For now, that seems hopelessly optimistic, which means either Beijing accepts much lower GDP growth targets, or it continues to see soaring debt, end quote. This is largely consistent with what we have been observing on China Update year to date. Next up, we have one more development to cover, but just quickly, if you're getting some value from today's episode of China Update, don't forget to like and hit subscribe if you haven't already to be on top of the most up-to-date China analysis as it's released. Next up, at the recent 2 sessions, China's top diplomat and foreign minister Wang Yi gave a long press conference. In total, he took 23 questions, and his comments provide a useful window into how Beijing views its role in the world, as well as Beijing's policy-making and decision-making elite's worldview of diplomacy and geopolitics. I wanted to end today's video by quoting some of Wang Yi's comments so that we can get a look through this window. We quote this not because we necessarily agree or disagree with the comments, but in order to take note of this elite worldview in Beijing. Question, quote, you said that China's diplomacy brought much needed stability to a turbulent world in 2024. As more transformation and chaos are expected in 2025, what role will China play in the world on the diplomatic front? End quote. That was from state-run CCTV, Wang Yi's answer. Quote, we are living in a changing and turbulent world where certainty is becoming a scarce resource. The choices made by countries, especially major countries, will determine the trajectory of our times and shape the future of the world. China's diplomacy will stand firm on the right side of history and on the side of human progress. We will provide certainty to this uncertain world. We will be a staunch force defending our national interests. The Chinese people have a glorious tradition of relentlessly seeking self-renewal. We never provoke, and we are not intimidated by provocations. No maximum pressure, threat, or blackmail can undermine the unity of 1.4 billion Chinese people or stop our historic strides toward the great rejuvenation of the Chinese race. We will be a just and righteous force of world peace and stability. We will continue to expand our global partnerships, featuring equality, openness, and cooperation. Actively use the Chinese approach to resolving hotspot issues, and write a new chapter of the Global South seeking strength through unity. We will prove with facts that the path of peaceful development is bright and can ensure stable and sustainable progress, and that it should be the choice of all countries. We will be a progressive force for international fairness and justice. We will uphold true multinationalism and bear in mind the future of humanity and the well-being of the people. We will provide global governance that is based on extensive consultation, joint contribution, and shared benefit. We will observe the purposes and principles of the UN Charter and build more consensus for an equal and orderly multipolar world. We will be a constructive force for common development in the world. We will continue to expand high standard opening up and share the vast opportunities of Chinese modernization with all countries. We will safeguard the multilateral free trade system, foster an open, inclusive, and non-discriminatory environment for international cooperation, and advance a universally beneficial and inclusive economic globalization. Here ends the direct quote and today's episode of China Update. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of some of these developments, including your thoughts on these comments by Wang Yi in part 3 of today's video. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you're having a restful weekend. Thank you again for watching today's episode of China Update, and I will see you tomorrow for a new week of updates.
Thank you. He didn't talk about the sanctions on China still, but I don't think that really matters. Well, I mean, it kind of does. What is this? Hassan Piker is now... Oh, it's by Nux. Nux has been grinding. Every day, man. Every day some shit comes out about this fucking idiot saying some shit. Alright,
The Nazis are today justifiably regarded.
Oh shit. I was thinking about watching that on stream. But it's about the, basically the experiments of lobotomy and, drug inducing and the horrors of what's his face did. His name's like Voldemort. I'm kidding. It's the Nazi experiment. True horrors of the Nazi experiments. Oh yeah, these guys are pretty big criminals. Some of these guys are gang leaders, gang members. Yeah. El Salvador. This is the maximum, yeah, the maximum security mega prison. to members of Venezuelan Tren de Aragua prison gang, and at least, wait, what? No, stop! 21 MS-13 members were delivered. Ah, so MS-13's in there too. Salvadorian President Nayib Bukele confirmed on Sunday morning about the delivery in a post to X. I'm guessing we had to pay him some money to get those guys. Today, the first 238 members of Venezuelan criminal organization Tren de Aragua arrived in our country, and they were immediately transferred to CECOT, the Terrorism Confinement Center, for a period of 1 year. Renewable. The United States will pay a very low fee for them, but a high one for us. Over time, these actions, combined with the production already being generated by more than 40,000 inmates engaged in various workshops and labor under the Zero Idleness program, will help make our prison system self-sustainable. As of today, it costs $200 million per year. Damn. There you have it. Gas is being sold and paid for. On this occasion, the U.S. has also sent us 23 MS-13 members wanted by Salvadorian justice, including 2 ringleaders. One of them is a member of the criminal organization's highest structure. This will help us finalize intelligence gathering and go after the last remnants of MS-13, including its former and new members, money, weapons, drugs, hideouts, collaborators, and sponsors. As always, we continue advancing in the fight against organized crime, but this time, we are also helping our allies, making our prison system self-sustainable, and obtaining vital intelligence to make our country an even safer place. All in a single action. May God bless El Salvador, and may God bless the United States. Well, there you go. Thank you, good sir. We appreciate the trade deal. You take some of these criminals off our hands and put them through the ringer in your court system or your prison system. Hey, you got some workers. Even the U.S. has programs like these. Obviously, it's not fucking right this involved, but. Get the fuck going. Get down. Ass getting shaved, bitch. Sorry. Upon arrival, the gang members were met by dozens of armed soldiers and immediately transferred to the Terrorism Confinement Center. Yoinked. Get going. Get going. Move, bitch. They left his shoe on the floor. They left his Crocs on the floor. That's fucked up. According to Axios, 2 planes were already in the air when the orders came down, but decided not to follow the ruling as the planes were outside U.S. airspace. Alert responded to an article by the New York Post which reported on the judge who attempted to stop the deportations. Yeah, tell that judge to fuck off. That yeah, that's the right answer. Yeah, fuck you, judge. Who's the federal judge that ordered that? Fuck you. Suck my balls. Those criminals can stay there, you fucking cunt. Was on True Social following the deportations, thanking President Buchel for accepting the criminals. Yeah, that's right. These are the monsters sent into our country by crooked Joe Biden and the radical. God damn it, bro. Fuck. Why do you do this? How dare they? Thank you to El Salvador and in particular President Buchel for your understanding of this horrible situation which was allowed to happen to the United States because of incompetent Democrat leadership. We will not forget. Oh fuck. That was pretty good. Last month, Secretary of State Marco Rubio traveled to El Salvador to negotiate a deal with Buchel. In the meeting, President Buchel agreed to house convicted U.S. citizens or deported criminal illegal immigrants in a mega prison. Oh, nice. We also thank the Salvadorian president for his assistance and friendship following the deportations. Yeah, I mean, if he wants some money out of just getting these guys, oh, we don't care. It's these fucking assholes out of our fucking hands, right? If it's a cheap fee that it takes just to get rid of them and put them somewhere else instead of costing so much money to end their lives in our fucking country, fuck that, right? Whatever's cheaper. Everything costs money. Let's see what we got here.
Has lost his landmark legal case over whether details of his visa should be disclosed in the United States of America. This is really a huge blow which could lead to his deportation. Hello everyone, this is Andre Walker. Please do support the Patriot Fund. The link is in the description to PayPal. It is paying for a national tour of the United Kingdom so I can talk to people, activists across the country and set out our way of thinking and hopefully visit a town near you. Okay,
well, there you have it.
Judge Nichols has changed his mind. He previously ruled that Prince Harry's visa application didn't need to go public because there was no public interest. But now he's decided that the Freedom of Information Act request by the Heritage Foundation needed to be supported. And indeed, the disclosure will need to happen before the 15th of March. Just to recap on precisely what has taken place. Obviously, Prince Harry left the British royal family and briefly moved to Canada. I don't know why we didn't make him Governor General, but okay, fine.
Wait, he moved to
then
Canada?
He moved to California, to this Scarface mansion.
Yeah, wait a minute. I thought he lived in California for some reason. What? Oh, well, then again, when the whole thing went down with Meghan Markle, that's probably when he fucking moved to Canada, right?
With Meghan Markle. Now, he applied for a visa. In general terms, if you admit to using Class A drugs, you're not allowed a visa into the United States of America. Also, if you lie on your visa application, you're not allowed into the United States of America. And obviously, Prince Harry applied for a visa and was granted a visa, and then in his book Spur, admitted to using cocaine, marijuana, and magic mushrooms. Now, the reality is, it's unclear as to how he managed to get a visa. Was he given preferential treatment because he was a British prince? Sounds a bit odd to me, but possible. Or did he simply lie on the visa application and not mention his previous drug use? And of course, the guys in the United States of America, they're not going to assume that he's used drugs, are they? Simply because he's a former army officer, member of the royal family, etc. It's not something you'd naturally assume, I would suggest. Anyway.
Yeah,
well,
sure.
It's been a bit of an odd journey, this. And I'll tell you why it's been an odd journey, simply because President Donald Trump actually, much as he doesn't like Meghan Markle and much as he's been fairly belligerent on a number of subjects, has actually been quite nice to Prince Harry. All he said was, good luck to him, he'll need it, married to her, which was fairly cutting. But actually, on every occasion that he's been asked about deporting Prince Harry, he's said no. Well, J.D. Vance was asked as well, and he said no. And he's even more belligerent than Donald Trump. But that may not matter. The reason is because if this visa application is published and it says that Prince Harry didn't admit to drug use, then he will either have to admit to lying on the visa or say that he lied in the book. I would argue he'd be better saying he lied in the book, simply because at least that's not going to constitute a criminal offence. But then, on the other hand, if he admitted to it and was let in anyway, it raises very real questions about the previous Democrat administration and whether they're actually enforcing the law. Because whilst it's not, no immigration rule is absolutely hard and fast, is it? There's very often point systems and all that sort of thing. But somebody who admits to using hard drugs, in general terms, ought never to be allowed into the United States, or at least that's the understanding of the American public. We will see what happens. I think Donald Trump will be particularly reluctant simply because he really, really likes the royal family. And frankly, I think he'd quite like a peerage, if I'm being totally honest. Can you imagine if we made him the Duke of New York? I've said this before. We could make him the Duke of New York, Viscount Queens, and the Earl of Manhattan, or something like that, which would be quite funny. But obviously, he doesn't want to upset the royal family, particularly ahead of that big state visit, which he's the only person, I think, ever to have been granted 2 state visits. And that reflects the fact that he really is a supporter of the United Kingdom. Now, of course, I'm going to talk in another video about the trade wars between the UK and the United States of America, but I don't hold Donald Trump responsible for that. And so I guess, where are we up to? Well, Prince Harry, in reality, has made a great deal of a fair number of mistakes, but I have to say, I think like most people, I hold her responsible for what has taken place. She's somebody who's broken up that family, and I'm always very suspicious of Meghan, and I'll tell you why. When you meet people in life, particularly women who have no friends from school, who are estranged from their parents, who don't like their siblings, whose ex-partners all hate them, and they just don't seem to have any friends. Even the Mulrooneys, who were the page boys, do you remember those amazed page boys? They're not speaking to her anymore. Doria Ragland, her mother, who came over and initially lived in Frogmore Cottage with the couple, she left fairly quickly afterwards as well. And I don't know whether they're estranged, but that relationship seems to be a bit off. And you start to think to yourself, well, okay, why is it that everyone that this person associates with, she suddenly, has a falling out with? We've got a lady who works at Talk called Lizzie Cundy. Lizzie Cundy was very close to Meghan Markle. When Meghan first came to the United Kingdom, she said she'd like to find a trophy husband, quote unquote, to Lizzie Cundy. But then now she's just completely ghosted her and doesn't speak to her at all. It's just very odd that. I would suggest that is something that suggests some sort of narcissism, that suggests some sort of nastiness, some sort of problem with her personality. She's not even speaking to her own father, despite him begging on multiple occasions. She's somebody who has constantly sought to go up the ladder. She's constantly sought to advance herself. This nickname that she's received of Meghan Markle, apparently she gets her staff when they tweet out Meghan. She goes, no, you have to put the Duchess of Sussex. Ugh, pathetic. And of course, the other thing, and I make this a final point, is about titles. And I want you just to understand the thing about titles, right? It's really easy to understand. All the grandchildren of the monarch are princes and princesses. Yes, as long as they go through the male line. However, that rule was slightly changed. Basically, the direct heir to the throne, that is, the Prince of Wales and the Prince of Wales children and the children of the Prince of Wales children, all now are allowed to be prince and princesses. The reason is they didn't want Prince George born as a commoner and later become king. Wouldn't have bothered me. But okay, so what that means is that whilst Elizabeth II is alive, Archie and Lilibet are not prince and princesses, but when she dies, they will be, because then they'll be the grandchild of Charles III. Got it? Okay, there is another rule, that if your dad has multiple peerages, then you can use the second peerage if you're the son, and the third peerage if you're the grandson, and the fourth peerage if you're the great-grandson. What always happens in Britain is that they will give a member of the royal family a dukedom in England, Duke of Sussex, then an earldom in Scotland, in this case Earl of Dumbarton, and then a barony in Northern Ireland. I think it's Baron Kilkeel. I might be wrong in the case of Harry. So what that means is when Archie was born, he could have used the title Earl of Dumbarton or Earl Dumbarton. Meghan Markle turned round and said that instead of being given a princedom, because he was black, and bear in mind he's ginger, right? But she said because he's black, they've deliberately given him a title that has dumb in it as an insult to him, right? I mean, that's garbage. First of all, if you see a picture of the kid, he's got ginger hair and white skin, so he's not black. But also, he was not given the title Earl Dumbarton. She is already the Countess of Dumbarton. Her husband is the Earl of Dumbarton. She would have known this. And therefore, she's accusing the British royal family of insulting her son and racism when she knew
racist.
Please do donate to the Patriot Fund below. We've almost got the first event fully funded. And of course, I'm really looking forward to this tour around the country. Also, the Patriot Fund is going to fund other conservative, right-wing patriotic causes, things like giving out leaflets, things like phoning up people to support political candidates, all those sorts of things. Please do click on the link below. Until next time, goodbye.
Fucking race. Why are people like this? Anyways. You should not get preferential treatment. No one should get preferential treatment. And just look at what Hunter Biden did. That motherfucker got full-on preferential treatment. Trump considers Harry having to stay with his wife a greater punishment than sending him back to England. That's a fucking good one. We don't want him back to England. Doesn't want him back. Even England doesn't want him. Oh shit. If the children are not living in the United Kingdom, then they should not have royal titles. I mean, I kind of agree with that, to be honest. Hope he gets his opponents after the way they both treated the Queen. Yeah. Harry should not get special treatment. He isn't even a citizen. Yeah, he revoked his citizenship to get with Meghan Markle. Whether he lied on a visa or in the book, at the end of the day, he will be labeled a liar. Correct. Correct. So what's unusual about that? He lies all the time. Alright.